Okay. Is this thing on? It is. All right. Couple things to go over for your own good. I am currently watching a documentary on Netflix called Wild Wild Country. And I'll tell you something. It's fucking wild. It is about this, Indian guru / cult leader / I don't even know. I'm only a couple episodes in, but I'm telling you, it's fucking crazy. I don't even want to give anything away. I just strongly urge you, if you're bored looking for something to watch on Netflix, Wild Wild Country. It's a documentary. There's 6 parts. Each part is about an hour long, and I'm about to be done with part 3, and it's just blown my mind. I'm a big fan of documentaries. It's cool to watch The Office over and over again for the 11th time, and believe me, I do it all the time. It's just sometimes you got to gain some knowledge. I heard about this documentary on Rogan's podcast. He was saying how fucking wild it is, and me and my wife were sitting there just chilling, trying to find something new to watch, and I just said screw it and put it on, and I am not disappointed whatsoever. So I would definitely check that out. I don't know why, but I find a big fascination with the murder stuff, the cults, everything like that. Speaking of cults, Lil Uzi Vert just dropped some album art, which takes inspiration from Heaven's Gate, which is a wild cult that believed that they had to kill themselves in order to catch a spacecraft. And that's a whole nother thing to talk about. But yeah, dude, the cult stuff is just fascinating to me. It's almost like religion. Religion is definitely very culty to me, organized religion. Anyway, enough about cults and all that. My guest this week is a guy by the name of Big Jerm. Big Jerm is a music producer / engineer. I don't necessarily know exactly what his title is, but he makes music. He's worked with big name artists, Mac Miller, Wiz Khalifa, Juicy J, B White, a lot of local people. We sit down at ID Labs and we just kind of talk about where he came from. He's not someone that's really out there online. He doesn't post too much about himself, and I've followed him on social media for a few years. I've always kind of been interested in him and how he kind of got to where he is right now. And luckily, he was cool enough to sit down and talk to me. So I stopped by ID Labs and talked to him about skateboarding, music, movies. I mean, pretty much everything. Super cool dude. I appreciate him taking the time out to sit down and record an episode with me. So without further ado, episode 30 of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with Big Jerm.
I gotta use the telephone.
Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back. Call you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast. How about, I think people are starting to listen a little bit more in depth with this podcast, because the other day I got a package that just was titled Strawberry. All right, and I opened it up, and it was a fucking book, and the book was The Diary of Anne Frank.
Wow.
Not by no one. I don't know where it came from, but I just got one, and I think that I talked about it on the podcast at some point, but I have no idea where it came from. You ever read The Diary of Anne Frank?
No.
Are you a reader?
If it has to do with music.
So you're just a straight music nerd?
Yeah, I've been reading those 33 and a third books. They're just they're those tiny little books, but they're just about a particular album.
Oh, okay.
So I just read
a coffee table type book?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I just read the Donuts one, the JD one, and then I got Nas Illmatic,
Yeah.
Jeff Buckley, Grace. I didn't read that one yet, but
So
that's what I've been on.
how did where you said you grew up in Baldwin?
Mm-hmm.
Are you an only child?
Nah, I have 2 sisters.
2 sisters. Now, where was your family real into music?
Not really.
So how I look in your fucking wall right now on your wall outside, and you have probably what, over 1,000 records?
Yeah, like 2,000.
2,000 records. How did that?
Which are for sale, by the way.
Everything's for sale. How could they get to you?
Hit up my email, bigjermbiz@gmail.
Literally a fucking wall of records. And you said that they're most soul
And jazz.
No, that's just that's a very interesting genres to have with you. I mean, 2,000 records. How did you get into music?
It's pretty random. It's just I just grew up skateboarding, and then just there'd be songs and skate video, random songs and skate videos a lot,
For
and
sure.
I would get into different stuff through that, and then I don't know what it was, but I just figured out how people were sampling songs, and it kind of clicked to me one day.
Yeah.
And my sister's ex-boyfriend had he gave me Fruity Loops and this other program called SoundForge,
Yeah.
so I could chop samples. And
How old were you when this happened?
I was 17 actually. I was a senior in high school when I started making beats.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's
That's dope, though.
shit was super random.
What was first of all, I do a section in the beginning. What's in the cup?
Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer. So you always fucked with Arnold Palmer?
Yeah,
I can't do it. I'm not an Arnold Palmer guy. I don't be fucking with lemonade.
I think the Chick-fil-A one is the
They have a tea lemonade mix.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a lemonade guy. The only lemonade I fuck with is the lemonade from Kennywood,
Oh yeah.
where they ladle a whole ladle full of sugar.
It's that sweet shit.
Yeah, it's terrible for you, but other than that, so Arnold Palmer, I fuck with Arnold Palmer as a golfer. Are you a golfer?
A little bit actually.
Do you golf?
Yeah, I'm not good, but
That's fine. I'm
it's
not good
something I
either.
do with my dad, just just to bond.
I wish that my dad would golf. Were you always a golfer?
Nah, I probably started with him in 6th grade, but I never got into it enough to get good.
Yeah, actually
I'll golf 3 times a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I went to Top Golf twice yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I went early after I went golfing at South Park,
Damn.
and then because I figured there wouldn't be a lot of people there. Top Golf is dope though. You been to one?
No.
It's unreal how much money that they're just just pouring in. People were just fucked up there, just drinking the whole time. But it's incredible because people my wife, she will not fuck with golf whatsoever. If I bought her clubs, lessons, I was just come out. I'll pay for all this. I just want you to try. She has no desire to do it. But then you go to places like Top Golf, people just want to get all fucked up and just try to hit golf balls.
Mm-hmm.
But golf is a game of gentlemen. That's the only thing I like about Arnold Palmer, though. I don't fuck with that tea. I'm a peach and unsweetened iced tea guy.
I like the peach. I actually like all iced tea.
Yeah, I'm an iced tea guy for sure. Now, you said you're a big skateboarder.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you when you got into skateboarding?
11.
How'd that happen?
Really, it was just popular at my school. And then I just started buying magazines and shit, and
CCS, Thrasher?
yeah, definitely CCS and Trans World.
Yeah.
And then I was buying 411s and stuff.
Were you getting Big Brother magazine and shit?
Yeah.
Now, was that something that you were heavy into back then?
What, Big Brother?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say heavy into, but it was cool to see boobs in skate magazine.
Yeah, I was definitely too late to all that, but after reading Johnny Knoxville's autobiographies, or not reading about him and shit online, I knew that Big Brother was a thing, and Jeff Tremaine, and kind of started getting into that a little bit more, and finally realized how big of a deal that was, how edgy and shit it was back then. Because what years were that? When did that stop happening? Late 90s or early 2000s?
Yeah, Big Brother was probably maybe 92 or 3 till 2002 or 3, something like that.
Yeah. So you got into skateboarding when you were 11. if it's popular, like who were the popular skateboarders back then? Like who was like your first that you were fucking with?
Damn, back then, probably like Jamie Thomas.
Yeah. Jamie Thomas is definitely, he always comes up.
Yeah.
Because like he's just like a fucking pivotal dude.
Yeah, just back then he was like doing the biggest shit, and it was like when I was a little kid, it's just like crazy to me.
Yeah, they look like they're fucking flying, going down them like 15 sets and shit.
Yep.
Now, where was the place to like grab skateboards and shit back then?
Headboard.
Is that because I knew that was the place back then, but like I also was a little bit too young for that. Like when did that close? Early 2000s.
Nah, only like a few years ago, actually.
Oh yeah, they've always been in. Was it always in Carson Street?
Yep.
Huh.
They opened in like '94. I started skating in '97.
Yeah. And you would grab shit down there. I just remember going in there and they had like a limited selection of shit. And then I just remember definitely fucking with like OneUp.
Yeah.
A lot. And so like you were skating things like that, and like I'm always like fascinated about how people like kind of got deeper into the culture, not having like the internet and stuff like that is as readily available as we do now. So was it just like skate videos and shit?
Yeah, definitely. Just magazines and videos back then.
Yeah.
But like, do you remember 411?
No.
It was just like a video magazine, so it was like every 2 months, there was like a new one. But it would have like profiles, like different pros and stuff, and then there'd be like road trips.
Yeah.
They'd go to like different cities, like they do like spot checks at different cities and stuff. Like,
yeah.
So it kind of just like kept you up to date, even though it was always like a few months, like a couple months behind, but still you were kind of like.
Now, were you was CCS around whenever you were like super young?
Definitely,
because they're still around. Like,
that was probably the first. I mean, I didn't get my first board from there, but I got like T-shirts and shit probably.
Yeah. What you remember your first skateboard?
Yeah.
What was it?
Toy Machine Monster.
That's what's up.
And
Mine was
you can still buy that one actually.
Mine was a Jimmy Chadwick DNA board.
It's a
You
good
remember
one.
DNA?
Yep.
The Edge was open in Century 3 Mall.
Oh yeah.
And
a couple of my
had-
friends were sponsored by them.
They had a fucking pro, like a pro meet, and that's where I grabbed that board. It was definitely wild. And then they moved over towards on 51.
Mm-hmm.
Did you fuck with Cheapskates at all?
Nah.
Do you know what Cheapskates is?
Yeah. I fucked with 885 and like when OneUp was over there.
Yeah. See, I didn't know that they were at 885 OneUp.
Mm-hmm.
See, I didn't know that. I was never like, I always just like, all my friends grew up in it. So like I was always exposed to like, the fucking, all the skate videos. Everyone's fucking running around trying to figure shit out. PA Cheapskates was like our hub for everything. That dude had everything in there. Toy Machine, Altamont, like he was always kind of ahead of the game with all that stuff.
Wait, that was the one. That's like Elizabeth or some shit, right?
McKeesport, White Oak area.
Yeah. I went there like once or twice.
Yeah, and then like they shut down, and it was just kind of, it was a fucking bummer because like that place always had the dopest shit.
Mm-hmm.
But music and everything. So like music and skateboarding definitely go like hand in hand. I think it's interesting how you watch skate videos and like some people's parts just have like the most, ridiculous music to it. Like someone's fucking part will have like you said, some old soul song or something like that. Is that like, now what made you gravitate towards like that type of music? Was that always like your favorite type of shit?
Nah, definitely not. I don't really know what it was, but so like when I was pretty young, I liked I liked hip hop just randomly. Like it wasn't like I was even really exposed to it. I just kind of liked it. Like I liked Naughty by Nature for some reason when I was a little kid, but I think it was kind of from that though, because it's like people have always sampled like soul and jazz, or like at least since like the late 80s, early 90s, like when I was kind of young.
Yeah.
But I think just like that memory maybe like is what made me like get into the soul music more.
Yeah. Now, you always been into vinyl ever since you were younger?
Nah, that was more it was just because it was hard to find like a lot of those records. Like maybe it was like that group had that one record and then like it was never reissued on like anything other than a record, you know? So
Yeah.
it's like you can find more rare stuff that people haven't sampled before.
That makes sense. Now that it's like a fucking, it's like almost, you see all kinds of people like putting their shit on vinyl and it's just like recirculating. I see a bunch of people putting their shit out on tapes again.
Yeah, that's...
I don't get that at all. I mean, I'm not buying a tape from anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the vinyl part because it has like a sound, like it legitimately sounds better sometimes, but like tape doesn't. you know, like who has a tape machine, like a tape player?
I do. I mean, I drive a 92 Buick LeSabre.
All right, well,
it's a little G-Wagon, but you know, I still got the tape auxiliary port, but I think that so like all the hip hop and shit back then, where were you able to like get it all from? Like where's someone who was like a music head like able to get music from? Like and I think it's crazy
like
because
National Record Mart. Do y'all remember that?
I mean, I know that's where you were able to like order CDs and shit like out of magazines, right?
Nah, that was just like a store.
National Record Mart?
Yeah, NRM. It was just like a...
Where's that at?
I mean, I think the one I used to go to was like Century 3 Mall, maybe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was that like a FYE type thing?
Yeah,
like
pretty much.
Oh, okay. Now, I think it's weird because like I mean, now we can just go on YouTube and just like kind of branch off and like get to wherever we want to go. So like the people that are still involved with the shit that they've been involved with all them years ago, it's cool to see that like, you know, you go from like having like no way to get to it, and now it's just like all the information to our like from our hands. I heard that you were a 80s action movie buff.
Yeah.
You're pretty heavy into it.
I mean, there's certain ones that like Commando and shit is like
Demolition Man.
Yeah, like Running Man, like all the Schwarzenegger ones are just like funny to me, I guess.
Yeah. Were you always into movies?
Yeah.
Now movies is like, that's my wheelhouse. That's what I like grew up with. I was never like a crazy music dude. Like I talk to people who do music and everything, and like I don't try to gas up like I can fucking name all these records. I've listened to fucking Ready to Die probably 1,000 times and I can't even like say all the lyrics still. It's ridiculous. But movies is what I feel that you could tell a lot from someone. So like we were at the fucking me and Boyd were at the Exchange and I mentioned Demolition Man. And he was like, definitely bring that up because I mean the people that like all them old school movies, I feel we're all it was all kind of like, you know, like if you like that movie, I could see you liking like all the Jackie Chan shit and like Rumble in the Bronx and all that stuff. And I think that it was also, you know, like skateboarding also, I feel that like everyone got so much from skateboarding, whether it's like movies, fucking music, anything like that. It's just like everything, like so much shit comes from that, even like style.
Yeah,
like people that
like shit that people don't even notice.
Supreme,
like the average person, like yeah,
like people don't even know what that was. And I see people come into Threads all the time wearing like Supreme shit, and it's like, I mean, you don't know what it is. Like it's interesting. It's interesting to see where they came from. Like, do you remember the first time that you started fucking with it, like hearing about it?
Supreme, yeah. I just remember like even like Zoo York videos.
Yeah.
Like I would see that people wearing like Supreme hats, like the camp caps.
Yeah.
And this is like late 90s. Like the first time I went to Supreme was probably like 99, maybe.
Yeah, that long ago?
Yeah.
Now, I mean, like I was too young to like I don't remember it being like popping back then. How where was the store at that you went to? Is it New York?
Yeah. That was the only one back then.
Yeah, and like when did they open the next one?
I don't know. Maybe I don't even know when they opened the LA one.
Because like the New York one was open when? Or late 80s?
Nah, like 94, 95, something like that.
Mid 90s then?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, like that's pretty wild to me.
I think 94.
Do you fuck with it now? Like, do you fuck with the stuff they put out with?
I don't really keep up.
Yeah.
But I do, like, I like their style of stuff. It's just kind of, now it's like, for one, it's like hard to get. So I like gave up a few years ago. Like, I don't even try
to because...
yeah, it's just like they have all those bots and shit now. It's like you can't get it.
It's interesting because like they supposedly could like try to stop any of the bots that grab the shit, but like you can't get everything from that. Are you like a big fashion dude? Like is that important to you?
There's just certain shit I like.
Like what?
jeans, like denim.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, what kind of shit do you like?
Like Japanese denim generally.
Oh, yeah? Raw denim?
Yeah. This is actually like an American company, but the denim is Italian on these ones.
What's the company called?
Shaco. They're in like, I think they're in like North Carolina or something.
I don't know if I've ever heard of them.
They're like handmade and shit. It's cool.
No big deal or nothing. Handmade denim. Boss moves up here. The Supreme shit though, like I have a weird, I try to like keep like tabs on all of it. I fuck with it as far as like the accessories and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that it's so sick that they do that. I like that 412 does all that shit now, that they're like kind of like incorporating like cooler accessories, like the Swiss Army knives and shit like that. I think that that's dope.
Yeah, I love those dudes too.
Yeah, like I think that the Supreme shit is definitely. I think it's dope that they're still putting that out. But did you see the book that they just came out with, like the copy book? I think it's called Supreme Copies, but it's like all the shit that Supreme just copy off of directly. Like it'll have like a Nautica 90s like fleece, and it's just the exact same thing. Why do you think that? Like, do you think that it? Do you know a lot of skateboarders that still fuck with it? I feel like that I don't know a lot of skateboarders that fuck with it.
Not really in Pittsburgh, honestly. Like,
yeah,
probably in like LA and New York, but here I think it like turned into something else here. That's for like rappers.
It's for rappers.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like that's what like some of my skate friends would think. Like, I don't see any of my skate friends wear Supreme.
Yeah, like anyone that I know that's like, there's a couple dudes that I know that's been skating for years that like wear a hat or two, but like not any of this. Like they're not buying a fucking brick.
Yeah.
Like I think that's I think it's crazy what people like what sells out still. Like their fucking chopsticks and their ramen bowls and stuff. Like it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Like I fuck with it, but it's pretty weird that it sells out like that.
I mean, I think it's cool that a skate company is making money.
Yeah.
I'm happy for them, but it's just kind of like not.
Is it still a skate company?
I mean, they employ skateboarders, so
That's a good point. That's a good point for sure.
That's as far as I'll take that. I'm not really sure if it's a skate company, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what I was curious is, was there like a big demand for music producers and shit back whenever you said you started when you were 17? Like, how did you kind of like sharpen your craft with this? Like what were you doing back then?
I was obsessed with skating. Like that's all I did most of the time. And then like I would come when I wasn't skating, I would just be making beats. Like it just turned into that. But it was really like stuff like the Blueprint, like Jay-Z stuff, where it's like a lot of like Kanye and Just Blaze stuff back then. Like is what got me into making beats, because it was like I could see like once I figured out what they were sampling, it was like it made sense to me.
Yeah. Now, are you a big Kanye guy?
Not anymore.
Yeah, I feel like no.
I was at one point.
Did you listen to his recent album?
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about it?
It seemed rushed to me personally. Like it could have been better.
I read an article that said that he scrapped his original album and redid one in like a week and a half or 2 weeks. Why do you like? Why would he do that? Do you know why that would happen?
I thought he did that with the Pusha T.
Is that what it was?
I think.
I don't know.
Like that whole album was done, and then he just like took it over.
I can't keep up.
Which would be trash if you were like a producer on the first one, and then Kanye's like, "No, I'm gonna just redo this whole shit."
Now, with people like Kanye, I think Kanye and Supreme are kind of like. I think you can compare them, because I feel like anything that Kanye puts out is gonna get like crazy love just because he puts it out.
Yeah, more like branding than.
Yeah, that's all it is a big brand. Just like Supreme, they could put out a fucking like a rubber poop, and I bet you it'll sell out real quick.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that is? Do you think that that's like good, or do you think that like? So I was listening to someone trying to explain it to me, because like I have a weird time with Kanye. Like I feel like that I definitely fuck with his music. I know that he's like a creative genius and like that, but I have a hard time getting past the whole like fashion end of it all, and like all of his clothes and like like his hoodies being sold for like $400 or whatever like that, and I just think it's ridiculous that people just like buy it just because it's his name. And I feel like Supreme is the exact same way. Now, do you think that that's bad? Like, how do I explain it? Do you think that takes away from things? Like, do you think that he's just gonna like doesn't give a fuck and is just gonna put out trash? And like, I feel like if people get that popular and that like in demand, it like kind of takes away from what they were doing.
I don't think he'll put I don't think he puts out trash. Like, I don't think he ever would really.
Yeah.
But I do think
trash is a hard word.
Yeah,
that was a strong word for me. I'm sorry.
That's all right. But I do think he's kind of to the point where like he thinks anything he does is genius, you know, where it's like it's still good, but it's not like I think he just has that mindset now where it's like everything I do is perfect.
You genuinely think that like I mean, it's not hard for me to believe that like he just immediately thinks that like, oh yep, this is it, let's move it out, and people just respond to it and eat it all up.
Yeah.
What did you think about his like Poop Scoop song that he put out? Like that,
I don't know what the hell he was doing on that, but
do you think that was a serious that was like a serious thing, or do you?
I just don't know with him. Like,
yeah, I feel like
I don't know what his mental state is sometimes. So it's like I don't.
High school, there you're building up like what you're doing, you're skating, and then after you're done skating, you come over, or like you're coming home and just working on music. Like, what kind of did you have people that were like hitting you up as far as like making beats, or were you just like building a catalog of work?
There was nothing like this is ever gonna realistically be a job. Like it wasn't like I had rappers like hitting me up for anything. Like
yeah,
I don't know. I was just like obsessed with it, kind of like.
Were you like promoting that you were doing it?
Not at the beginning. It was just like. It was just fun to me. Like I wasn't thinking about anything.
Yeah, just like fuck it. What were you like in high school? Like were you like, you know, were you like well like known? Were you like quiet?
I was pretty quiet, and like I would just it was weird because like I was good at sports before I started skating. So like
really?
I was good at baseball and stuff, and I knew a lot of people like you know, and I knew people from sports and then just like whatever else, just like throughout my life, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
through school and everything, like, and a lot of like the people that were popular in high school, like I used to skate with in middle school and stuff. So like I knew everybody. It wasn't like that, but I just kept to myself for the most part. And then I had skate friends that I would meet like in the city. Like I would just take the bus every day downtown and skate.
Yeah.
And, like I had separate friends. Like
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, when did you play baseball till?
So I was like 12.
Yeah.
But I was like very good, but skating took over that. Like,
yeah, I mean, it seems to be that like it's rare if you find someone that's like sticks with sports all the way up and then like still skates all the way up. Mm-hmm. Kind of like if you get into skateboarding, it's kind of like it pulls you away from that world because you don't see too many like crossover.
Yeah, like the not having a coach part was like my favorite part.
Yeah. You like to work by yourself and like
definitely
be your own creator, make your own rules and shit.
Yeah.
Now, you're doing all this music. Like, when did it start to like pick up for you? Like, when were you starting to like, you know, make shit and people starting to like? When were you trying to be like, yo, dude, I make beats and like trying to get that out there?
So yeah, I started making beats in like 2003, and then I don't know. Like I said, I just kind of became obsessed with it. But probably like 2004, 2005. You know, some of my skate friends, like I was sponsored by OneUp at that point. Like 2003, I got sponsored by them, and just like JG and Jerry, the two that started the skate shop.
Yeah.
They just like they had friends who were rappers or whatever, and it was just like, oh, Jerm makes beats. So okay. I just like started getting people stuff like that.
Yeah.
And honestly, like that's how I even like linked up with Wiz. Like if you really like trace it back, so
is like it all come from like skating and shit.
Yeah, seriously.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. It's
wild how much of the roots go back into that.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, what was the process of like getting sponsored? Were you just like always skating with them dudes and they were just like, yo, like?
Well, actually, JG used to work at Headboard.
Oh, okay.
So like this is probably like 99 or so. Like I'd been skating a couple years, but like my mom would drop me off down there on like Saturday morning. Like I would skate from 10 in the morning till like 10 at night. You know what I mean?
Back then. You were just all about it.
Oh yeah, like I didn't care about shit. Like that was all I was gonna do. But yeah, JG worked at Headboard, and I would be there like waiting for him. He'd be like hungover and shit. Like like I didn't know like I was like 14 or whatever. But yeah, he would come in like hungover, like already like annoyed with me.
And you just stuck around.
Mm-hmm. And
That's dope.
And then yeah, like I just kept skating in the city and stuff, and like met a few people that like met like filmers and stuff, and then my friend Nick Panza, who's really good at skating, he got sponsored by OneUp first, and then I would just be like out with him, and then I kind of like linked up with all those guys again. That's
dope though. You still keep in touch with them dudes a lot?
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool. And do you skate?
I actually went to the strip club with Nick last week. With Boyd too. Yeah.
You ended up going? That's good. Good for you.
He didn't even look at any boobs though.
I know. That's all right. He was there at my house like, yeah, I don't know if I should go to this strip club. But so skating, like being sponsored by OneUp, like what did that entail? They would just like flow you some shit?
Yeah, I wasn't like hella greedy with it, you know what I mean? Like,
you're just grateful for it.
Yeah, so like boards and shoes and stuff.
Now, was there like crazy competitions and shit back then? Like was it like a big, like was there things to do back then?
Like what? Like if like being sponsored, like stuff.
Yeah, like were you guys like? Did you guys have like sessions, like demos or anything?
Yeah, like there were like demos and stuff. It wasn't like competitions really. There was like demos, and then we like filmed videos and stuff.
What was the skate park like? What were the ones that you would go to a lot?
I remember one at like Penn Hills.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that place.
Did you go to South Park?
Yeah, I went there a lot actually. Because I used to live like I said, I went to Baldwin.
From Baldwin.
So
That's why I was
like,
asking. I drove past there the other day because I went golfing and I saw that the half pipe there, and it's fucking huge. Like, and I don't get it. Like I've seen people skate on that thing before, but that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, this dude, what was his name? Rob. This dude Rob, he used to be sponsored by the skate shop.
Yeah.
But he got broke on that thing. Like,
yeah, dude.
I think he like hit his face on it or something.
I don't understand how people could. Were you able to drop in on that thing?
I would never try.
Fuck that thing. My buddy had a mini ramp, and like like I said, I was involved. I would skate around while they were fucking doing all these crazy things, but I would just cruise around, and it was a big deal for me to try to drop in. So there was one summer, Maddie fucking built a mini ramp. Maddie always had the meanest skate shit. So Maddie was like the plug of all the cool shit ever. He was the one that always knew about skating, music, anything. So his dad had this mean-ass mini ramp in his backyard. Just one summer, it's just me trying to drop in on this thing, just taking falls to my fucking shoulder. It was the worst.
Yeah, I was more like ledges and flip tricks and stuff.
Yeah.
That was like more my thing.
Do you skate a lot now still? As much as you can?
Yeah, as much as I can, which is not much.
Yeah, not much. Now, when did this all start fucking like kind of taking off to the point where it kind of put a lot of the other shit on hold?
2008.
Yeah.
That's like I started interning at ID Labs in 2008.
That's what you were an intern here?
Yep.
Now, what like how'd you do that? You over them years of you getting like Fruity Loops and shit like that, and you doing samples and creating your own beats, like it's just you being hands on and like kind of perfecting like what you're trying to do, and like did you have schooling for it at all?
Yeah, I went to a school called SAE in New York. It's just School of Audio Engineering. But,
yeah.
That was like 2006 that I went there, and really like I didn't really want to be an audio engineer. It was more like I wanted to learn how to mix and make my beats sound better.
Yeah.
Like I just wanted to be a producer.
Yeah.
And then
what is the difference? What is an audio engineer? What is a producer? I mean, I don't really know.
Audio engineer is just more like you record and mix and master the song.
Yeah.
Producer is more like you, in hip hop at least, it's like you make the beat.
Oh, okay. So, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Did you think that it was good schooling there?
Not really.
No? I figure a lot of places like are not really the best.
Yeah.
What kind of shit did they have you doing there?
Just like they had us like like cutting tape, like like using like analog like tape machines, and then like consoles, like an SSL or a Neve console. Just like basic stuff, like learning about compression and like super basic audio stuff. And
super basic to you, speaking Greek to me. I mean, that's so after school, like what was your move during school? Like, were you like, you know what, I'm gonna start fucking like what was your mindset with all this shit?
Well, I was broke the whole time I was there, so then I just came back to Pittsburgh, and I worked at Barnes and Noble, actually, like
really?
In the cafe.
What was that all about?
Just my sister worked there, so it was like easy to get a job.
Now, where's our cafe in Barnes and Noble?
At the one in the waterfront. It's just like a Starbucks.
Oh, that's where you worked?
Yep.
Jeez, you were a barista.
Yep.
I was a barista
I don't remember
as
any
well.
of that shit.
That's all right.
They like told me to read the book before like the first day. I didn't read shit.
Not a chance. So it's like, mix me up some coffee. All right, just throwing some shit together.
Exactly.
What other funny jobs did you have?
I worked at this like dorm cafeteria at CMU.
How was that?
It was like a winter. That shit was depressing.
You cooked?
Yeah, but that was like not really cooking, but yeah.
Yeah, it was just like making, your typical garbage.
Like sandwiches and fries and shit.
Are you a cook? Do you cook now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more like I do the grill stuff. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't say I'm like a chef.
You fuck with it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what's up. I
I have a smoker and a grill here.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So you definitely get down on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Smoker
I actually got beef
grill.
ribs in the freezer. I need to get on those.
Some beef ribs. That's cool though. He said, "I got some beef ribs in the freezer. Need to get on them."
They take 6 hours, so it's like
it's a whole process.
Yeah.
Now, what's your process about like making a beat? Like, is it just like do you have to like? Are you someone that just gets shit in your head and then has to come in here and do it, or do you like set time aside and be like, I'm gonna get in there and work?
It kind of varies. Sometimes like a session will cancel and I'll just be like, oh, I'll just make beats because I'm here, or I'll take my laptop home and make stuff. Like I'll be like watching TV but making beats at the same time.
And chilling with your dog.
Exactly.
Now, what's your dog's name?
Rico.
And I was told that your dog has a gold chain.
He does.
Now, where'd you get a gold chain for your dog?
It's called BigDogChains.com.
DAWG?
Just DOG.
Big dogs are them funny ass sunglasses from fucking gas stations or wild pugs or whatever the fuck they're called. So your dog just rocks a gold chain like that?
Yeah.
All day?
Yeah.
That's what's up. And you have it's like, you said it was a fucking, what kind of dog is that?
He's a rescue, so like everybody asks, I'm not really sure, but he's
looks wild though.
Yeah, definitely like either long hair Chihuahua or Pomeranian, and then something else. Like I don't know.
It's a funny dog though.
Yeah,
I think it's dope that it has a gold chain.
Yeah.
Some
love that
gangster
guy,
shit. I love that guy. Now I know that you also had a run-in the park.
In Highland Park?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, I was walking the dogs I had with my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
2 Pomeranians. They're like 5 pounds each. But I was walking them on Bryant Street, and these kids just like ran up on me and were like, "Give me all your shit." And I was like, "I don't have anything." And then dude pulled out the gun, and I was like I was basically like, "You don't want to do that." Not in like a condescending way, but just like,
you really don't want to just shoot me.
Yeah, it was light out. Like it was like 8:30 in the summer.
Oh, really?
It wasn't even dark. Yeah. So I was just like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And then I think he took it the wrong way. Like I was being tough or some shit.
Yeah.
And then he just shot me in my shoulder, or like basically my chest.
No. So you just got shot. Like what's that like? I mean, I have to ask you what it's about.
It was weird because like I didn't really like. I'm not acting tough or anything, but I didn't really feel it because it just went in and out.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like a burn a little bit, but it didn't hurt. Like
these dudes just shot you and pieced?
Yeah, they just ran off.
And you were just chilling there?
Yeah, I mean, I was like running around and shit. Like,
yeah.
But it didn't like. I was like, maybe he missed because it didn't really hurt.
Yeah.
But then I saw like a hole in my shirt and the blood was coming out. So I was like, oh fuck. Like I was more just scared than anything. Like it wasn't like physical pain. It was like,
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck is going on right now? You just got fucking shot.
mm-hmm.
That's pretty wild though.
Yeah.
How long were you like indisposed with all that shit?
Like 5 days. That happened on a Monday and then I got out on Friday.
Yeah.
And then I got out and then I had like fluid in my chest. So I had to go back for like a weekend, like 2 weeks later.
I think that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
So you caught a bullet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what's up. You got some experience in your life.
Yeah, I mean, I got lucky. It just went in and out. Like,
fuck yeah.
Like it went through my lung, but it didn't hit anything.
It went in your lung?
Yeah. It didn't hit any arteries or anything. Like
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
So you were pretty all right though after
and it's
that.
like it came out like ½ inch from my spine too. So
that's fucking crazy.
yeah.
And what year was that?
2016.
Oh, that's that recent.
Yep.
Jesus. Wow. All right, so let's rewind it a little bit. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So let's rewind it. Now, 2008, you said it starts picking up for you. Now, how did it start picking up? What's going on? You said you're interning here?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna go a little before that
Go ahead.
because I ended up. I'm trying to think. It was probably like 2007. OneUp actually moved into Timebomb.
Yeah.
On South Highland.
Yeah.
Like in the back, and I used to work there a lot. I would make like $50 a day.
We're at Timebomb or
no at OneUp.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I got to be cool with Brick, obviously.
Yeah.
And then Chad Glick came in, who was Wiz's first manager.
Yeah.
And Brick was just like, yeah, Jerm got beats, like same type of shit.
Now, Wiz was not like popping right now. 2008 wasn't that like
this
rolling
was 2007
paper? Or what was coming out then?
What did he?
Was that like
I
this
think, like
plane?
Bro Season just came out at that point, like at least like this time period.
Yeah. So like he wasn't like super popping, but like
He was getting popping in the city a little bit, but it wasn't like
yeah.
I don't even think it wasn't even Warner Brothers yet.
Okay. Now you're just back there and started fishing out and started pushing out some beats with that.
Mm-hmm.
People just started fucking with them.
Yeah, I gave Chad a CD of beats, and then like Wiz picked a couple of them.
Yeah.
By some miracle, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's just like random that would work. But yeah, that happened, and then the reason I started there is because, like, started at that part of the story is because whenever he picked those beats, I had to take like the track outs for the beats to E-Dan so he can mix them. So it's just like you give him each part, like the kick drum, the snare drum, hi-hat, all that stuff. So
and he puts them all together.
Yeah, just for like the mix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I took that to E, and then I was just like, yeah, I went to like audio engineering school and stuff, and then we kind of like kept in touch, and like that's the next year, like 2008 summer. I just started like interning, and me and E would like make beats and stuff, but I would like clean the toilet and like alphabetize his records and stuff like that. So yeah.
Some low level grunt shit.
Yep.
You got to, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I cleaned toilets. I was a janitor for a minute.
Yeah.
It was the worst. Now, I mean, like, you like. So how long was this here before you became an intern?
I think like he was doing stuff in his basement at his house years ago. Like I don't even know when that started.
Is that who owns this? Is E?
E-Dan, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you said that you said that this was, now I'm just trying to keep a timeline of whenever this was. So you started getting in here as an internship around 2008.
Yep.
And it was here for a minute before though.
Yeah, like I think 2004 maybe was like ID Labs kind of started 2004.
Now, was there any other studios in the city that were like, you know, anywhere like near like being what this is now? No. Because like what would you
at least like rap wise?
Yeah. So now, what would you say? What would you say like the music scene is in in Pittsburgh? Like, would you say it would be big? I mean, you kind of seen back then.
Oh, nah, there wasn't.
Wasn't really nothing.
I mean, there was a lot of people, but like it wasn't like Wiz was the first one to really do anything.
Yeah, to like kind of like break out.
Obviously, that hadn't happened yet, you know. So it was like
yeah. Now before him though, like there was no one that you knew of yourself, because like before we started recording, you were explaining backpack rap. You said you were a fan of backpack rap. Explain what that is.
You know, like Mos Def and like Talib Kweli back then.
Some shit that wasn't like as mainstream.
Right.
Now, was there people out that weren't as mainstream, that were like kind of making a buzz in the city that you remembered?
Yeah, like Boaz. Like I liked Boaz a lot back then. I mean, I still do. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, but like he was like that was before like Wiz started popping and shit like that.
Yeah, that was all like around the same time. Like when I got beats to like Chad Glick, like 2007, like I had also gotten beats to DJ Chef, who managed Boaz. So
okay,
kind of like that same kind of thing.
Yeah. And your process, like for you to get beats to people, you just would give a tape to like someone and they would give it to their artist and listen through and see if they liked anything?
Yeah, like I said, like when I was working at Timebomb, I would just like make CDs with beats on them, just because like I knew like rappers were in and out of there. So it was like,
yeah,
anytime anybody was like, hey, you got beats, like I would always have something.
That's dope though.
Yeah.
And from the beginning, like were you kind of was it pretty well received from the beginning?
Yeah, surprisingly, like,
you know, have you ever got any hate, like crazy hate in the beginning that like discouraged you from like keeping going?
Not really, just because with me, like I'm more like I like being in the background, so I wasn't like talking shit, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't like cocky about it or anything. So yeah, no, like never, like I haven't received too much hate, honestly. Like I'm not saying I'm like better than anybody. I'm just saying like I haven't really gotten too much of it. Yeah, like
I mean that's good.
I try to show everybody respect. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, for sure.
So
now, I asked you before why you have all these fucking records, and you were explaining that like some of them like you sample, some of them you just like sample once and never go back again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are you just like you're just like a general, like genuinely like a fan of music? Like do you just like listen through these whole albums and like see if there's something will just like, you know,
definitely
ring a bell and you're like, I'm gonna fuck with that?
Mm-hmm.
And like what's the process of that? Like you just kind of you record a sound, like how do you sample something from these like albums? Like do you just record it off of there and like kind of incorporate it with what you want to do?
Yeah, so I actually have my turntable hooked right up to my patch bay, which goes into my interface.
Yeah.
So basically I just have it like it's just connected to the computer in here all the time, so I have this Pro Tools session that obviously nobody else can see, but I'll show you. This session is actually kind of crazy. But yeah, I'll just record whole songs or like pieces of stuff like drums, and then so that's all songs those are all parts of a song?
Yeah.
Like, well, no, these are all separate songs, and then like this is like the chops down here.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's tedious for sure.
Now, were you ever a rapper?
Nah, hell no. I had no desire to ever rap.
Never?
No.
Wow, that's surprising. You also said that you're like kind of like, I mean, for anyone that like follows you on social media and everything, you're kind of like out of the loop. You're not someone that's like on Instagram Live.
No.
Y'all, dude, what's up? You know?
Yeah, no.
But now, why don't you think that you're? I mean, like, why aren't you like that? You were explaining that you like kind of being behind the scenes, and we were talking about before we were recording. Which I thought was super interesting. We were talking about like how like you can't be like a Justin Bieber and live a fucking regular life. It's like you walk outside and you got people fucking running after you and shit. Obviously, like you've worked with like big name people and you see what it's like to do that. And you were saying that like you just like don't desire a life like that where you can't walk outside.
Yeah.
You know, we were both just saying like the goal was to fucking, you know, pay your bills with just doing what you like and not have to deal with the bullshit.
Exactly.
And like, you said you want to talk about moving to Atlanta?
Yeah.
Okay, so you told me you were moving to Atlanta. Like, why? Like, what's making you want to do this?
It's just like a few things. I just feel kind of stagnant here.
Yeah. You think as far as like the music scene?
I mean, partially, like, people just don't support each other enough here, so it's like, it's hard. I mean, like, people are, like, I have enough sessions and stuff, like, I'm doing fine with, like, recording and stuff, but I feel like people don't support, like, the artists enough here.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like everything kind of is always the same, you know? And the other part is, like, my girlfriend is an actress, and there's a lot of, like, movies and TV.
All kinds of shit down there.
Yeah, and I hate LA, so it's like
you don't like LA?
No.
Why is that?
It's just kind of like all that other shit, like I was saying. It's just like
okay, yeah.
People are very like
fake.
Yeah, basically. People are just, you know, they just want to be seen. It's like
get some likes on IG and
yeah,
shit.
it's just, I mean, not everybody's like that, but it's like there's just like a whole different vibe there. I feel out of place when I'm out there, basically.
Now you fuck with Atlanta though?
Yeah.
Now what, besides for the whole acting thing with your girl and like you being down there, like what else is taking you down there? Like their music scene? I know that like Atlanta's music scene is like fucking insane.
Yeah, there's a lot more opportunities for me for sure.
Now, because of all the shit that you've had, like, you know, opportunities to deal with, like, do people hit you up all over the nation to try to get some, like, I said the nation, like, that sounds weird to me. Do people, I don't know why it sounds weird, but it does. Do people hit you up from all over to try to get, like, work with you and shit like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you had pretty much like, you could choose wherever you want to go.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, there's certain places that, you know, I think for, like, what I do, it's really only, like, L.A., New York, and Atlanta.
Yeah, and you didn't want to fuck with New York?
Nah.
That's too much for sure.
New York is, like, I mean, it was cool. Like, when I lived there for school, it was fun, but, like...
that's true. If you lived there for school, then you probably experienced it.
Yeah, it's just kind of, when I go back now, I'm just like, this is too much for me. Like, it's not bad, it's just, like, not for me.
Do you travel a lot?
Not as much as I used to.
Do you like traveling, or are you more of, like, a homebody type?
Definitely, like, homebody, for sure.
Yeah, it seems to be, like, I like being there whenever I'm there.
Exactly.
Like, I fucking went to Colorado, like, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed California, but, like, I'm trying to just be back to my crib on my couch. I wish I had a dog that would be as cool, rocking gold chains.
Exactly.
What makes you, I mean, why wouldn't you want to come home to that thing?
Yeah, exactly. I miss him right now, actually.
He don't ever just come in here and chill with you?
He does, but I had a session today, so, like, I don't know. I don't really want him around, like, people smoking blunts and shit. So, like,
that little ass dog?
Yeah, he'd get high, like, immediately.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Atlanta skate scene, though. Are you excited about that?
I don't know what the scene's like, but just from being there, like, there's definitely skate spots. Like, I don't really know the skate scene at all. Like,
I mean, I guess the way I phrased that was more of just like a statement. I was asking more was like, is there a crazy skate scene down there? That's
what I mean. I don't really know.
I mean, I would have no idea. I would assume there would be.
Yeah.
I know that the music was crazy down there because they always have, like, you could tell, I feel, with all, like, the musical festivals that they have, like how big that they are, what places are popping and what places aren't. Like Atlanta, we went to a few music festivals down there, and it just seems to be like, you know, like almost like a Nashville where it's just like there's all kinds of artists down there.
Yeah, it's like the, you know, Nashville is like country music.
Yeah.
There's it's like hip hop and R&B. Like it's like the same kind of thing.
Would you consider that as like, you know, like Nashville, like that would be like hip hop's Nashville? Mm-hmm. Is like you have all different types of people in there and everything. Now how do I want to ask it? Like, are you a fan of like? I know that they have like, you know, like Southern is like a style of like hip hop and shit like that. You know, like. Are you a fan of like are you a fan of just like everything, or do you have like a preference of like?
No, I don't really.
Pretty much whatever you like.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain shit I like, or like, you know, the stuff like I kind of like came up on.
Yeah,
is more like New York stuff.
Yeah,
but at this point, I like everything.
Are you a fan of like? Are you a fan of SoundCloud rap? Like, I mean, I guess I say SoundCloud rap, but to you, it's probably like it probably means different things to you. Are you a fan of like people like 6ix9ine and shit like that? Like, what do you think about like their whole game?
Musically, like I'm not necessarily, it's not my favorite thing to listen to.
Yeah, but from like professional's ear, like, do you think that almost like the shit I was talking about with Kanye and Supreme? It's like 6ix9ine is like almost like a
He's a character.
Yeah, he's a character, like a well marketed brand / character. And do you think that like, can you find like good, like, do you think that there's quality in like Gucci Gang by Lil Pump?
Yeah, for certain situations.
Yeah.
It's like you might not like listen to that on headphones and be like dissecting the lyrics, you know what I mean? But like, I mean,
do you find yourself doing that?
I mean, I used to.
Yeah.
It's just different. I'm older than a lot of those dudes, so it's like I can't even judge what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's like if people like it, then I must just not get it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's how I look at it.
That makes sense.
Like,
it's a different world.
Yeah, like I have no problem with that stuff. I don't choose to listen to it.
Yeah,
most of the time, but
that makes sense.
I see why people would.
Yeah. Do you think that how available social media and shit is? Do you think that has easier? How do I want to phrase it? Do you think it makes it easier for people to just like, you know who Boonk Gang is? Mm-hmm. Like that dude doesn't do anything. He just is being reckless. Like, I feel like if people just get if they tattoo fucking fuck under their eyes or something like that and like come out with somewhat of a catchy hit, starts like kind of.
That's what I mean. It's like, I just feel like a lot of dudes will do anything to like stand out.
Yeah. Almost like a spectacle rap.
Exactly. It's just like it is more of like a spectacle than.
Now, who are some people that are out now that you like genuinely think are like very, very talented? Like, is there any newer people out that you find yourself listening to a bunch?
I like Jid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now who else?
Honestly, if you look at my Spotify, it's like not rap.
Like, what do you find yourself listening to? Like, what do you listen to in the car?
Like Marvin Gaye.
Oh yeah. Like Marvin Gaye. Yeah. That's interesting. See, like, you were asking me why, like, whenever I came in and we were kind of like talking in the beginning, like, I obviously don't know you, you don't know who I am, and you were asking why me to interview you. And I was explaining to you that I think it's interesting that, it's so easy for people to just like be a fucking dickhead online and like, put their fucking all their business out there. And I think whenever you find someone that's like, I think we could both agree that you moved up to a different level with like your profession and everything like that. You have more of an outlet and everything. You could be a fucking dickhead and you could be like, you could be more of a spectacle and shit like that, but you still choose to be like kind of under the radar. And I fuck with that. I was explaining to you that like, I kind of got put onto you from Be White. And that was a big reason that I started to like really like fuck with you as far as like the shit that you're putting out, because like I fuck with those dudes heavy. And I was explaining it's not even the fact that like because I know them, it's just like their music in general. I'm just a very big fan of. And for you to like kind of get with them, like, are you selective with who you work with in the city?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. Or because I mean, I wouldn't know. Like, I wouldn't know if it's just like, a way to, as terrible as it sounds, a way to collect a check. Like if someone wants to pay you to work. Yeah.
Like and also like I'd like to give people a shot or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not saying I'm like I'm gonna get them anywhere, but it's just like, like I'll like if people want to work with me, like I'm down usually, but a lot of it just comes down to like respect. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, people respecting my time and like,
yeah, not coming in here and just dicking around.
Yeah, or just like some people just like won't show up. Like I won't hear from them when we're.
You have a lot of people that do that? Not
anymore. That's the thing. Like I kind of
curate who you have in here.
Yeah, it's a little different now.
Yeah, it's like there's some people like now. The podcast is definitely picking up a little bit. You're going to be episode 30.
Oh shit.
So it's definitely picking up to the point where people are fucking hitting me up and like trying to get on, and like it's cool. I appreciate everything. And like I've explained this in like other interviews. Like I'm not in this to like I don't really give a fuck if people listen. Like I feel that it's hard nowadays with all of us attached to our cell phones. It's like people are just like always attached to their phones. It doesn't give people like we would never have a reason to sit down and talk for, an hour and a half or whatever. And I feel that I want to record these conversations because, like I'm sure that there's a lot of people that know of who you are, see your shit on like Mac Miller's tape, Wiz's tape, all these fucking big people's tape. And like, I think that your name pops up a lot more now and people just don't know anything about you. Me personally, like I've seen you have music on B White's tapes and shit like that. And I'm just pretty much curious on like where it all came from. Like, it's like, how did you link up with them dudes, B White? It's just them coming down here and working?
Yeah, like, actually another dude that I like really fuck with is Franchise.
Yeah, Fran.
And like Vinny Radio. But,
yeah.
Fran kind of like found, like he like sought me out after like the original, like that first like Wiz and Boaz stuff. Like I kind of met Fran like 2007 probably.
Okay.
So yeah, like he bought a bunch of beats from me then, and then yeah, like when I started at the studio, he just, he would record with me too.
Mm-hmm.
But then he brought, like, he knew Mayo and B White just from being from like Mon Valley area. And he brought them through one time, and like B White didn't really seem like he wanted to be there that day. Like, I don't know. He like never really wanted to be in the studio, I guess. Like they had their like basement studio, like that's what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he didn't care to be there, but then like once he came and like did it, like we kind of,
vibed well.
Yeah.
I think that he is I think that he just like is skeptical about like I think he's skeptical about the whole scene and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now, like he's like, you click on any part of his social media, it's just I hate rappers, I hate rap. And he has a lot of lyrics that reflect it as well. And it's just like I don't know, that you could see that a dude like that is only gonna like respect good people. He's not gonna be like kissing ass just to like get places and everything like that.
Not. And that's the thing, like kind of that kind of personality, like it's like it would behoove you to like kiss ass sometimes, like career wise, but it's like it's nice when people are just like themselves and that's it. Like,
yeah. And that's why, like we were talking about before this, I just ask people that I find that I just fuck with what they're doing, and if they're cool enough to take their time out to talk, like that's fine. I'm not gonna like kiss people's ass to try to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, this isn't. I've a different. I mean, the people who listen to this, I think, are just like necessarily interested in like the different types of jobs and backgrounds. So I thought it was valuable to like see where like kind of how all this came up. Like, what's your family think?
they've been supportive of me no matter what, really.
Yeah. Are any of them like hip hop heads or anything like that? Yeah,
not even close. That's the funny part.
Do they understand like your whole job?
They understand. They kind of understand like the beat part, like the making beats part, just because like when I used to live with my parents, like they would hear me making beats all the time, and like my sister used to hate me because I would be like looping a part of something forever.
Yeah,
like
get it
next
perfect.
door to her. Yeah. So she definitely hated me for a little bit. Not really hated me, but it was annoying. But yeah, they understand that process. I don't know if they understand like the engineering side of it.
Yeah. What was like your first big song that like started like, like taking off?
Maybe like, I mean, this is a little later than some of that stuff we were talking about, but like Loud for Mac was probably like the first one that like went like did a lot pretty quickly,
Yeah. I mean, it's a dope beat. Like how long did something like that take you to create?
That's the funny part, because like people always say this. Like producers,
I know some people are gonna be like, took me 10 minutes,
exactly.
Took me like an hour.
It was like one of those. Like
really,
me and Sayes made that beat together, and like literally it was like 15 minutes.
Now,
and we didn't really think much of it. Like it was like we liked it. It wasn't like that, but it wasn't like
didn't know what it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
And like working with these bigger name people, like is it this is a big move for you. So like you put out loud things like that. Like are you getting? I feel like producers and shit like that don't get that much like recognition. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think people are like producers are getting better at putting themselves out there, but I think generally there's like a couple parts of it. It's like generally the producer is like the dude like me who likes being in the background, so it's like you are not going to get noticed most of the time.
That's a good point.
For better or worse. It's just like that's kind of your personality. And then other times it's like, I'm not going to name any names, but like certain labels, it's like they're gonna put all the emphasis on the artist. You know what I mean? It's just like,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you think about so you know Russ? I'm sure you obviously know who Russ is.
I just know that people don't like him, but I don't really know why.
I don't understand why either. But I was watching an interview, and he said that like he said something. And I'm gonna completely destroy what he says, but he said something about like how like if you make a bad song, it's the producer's fault. Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Kind of, yeah. I mean,
do you know like what I'm talking about? What he said?
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Why do you think that though? I didn't understand that. So he was saying that like people nowadays are putting out like corny music and shit like that, and he was saying that it all boils down to the producer. Like how like can you explain that to me in your eyes? Because I didn't understand that. I thought that was like almost not fair to say. Because like, I mean, an artist can come in here and spend $1,000 on a beat or however much money you want to fucking charge them, and like you just sold it to them. Like, why is it fall back on you?
I don't know. I guess I don't know if I like that perspective, honestly, because I kind of feel like the average person likes a lot of songs purely because of the beat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, like but then like all they know is what artist made that. Like it's not like the average person isn't going to know who produced the song, but they'll know like the artist.
Yeah.
So it's like the artist kind of gets credit for that a lot, I think.
That makes sense.
Like I just feel like people like the beat. They don't really care about the rest of the song sometimes.
Yeah, like Gucci Gang. Like that's basically a hard ass beat. And like
you could just say anything on it.
Yeah, you could say anything on it, but like I thought it was weird that he was saying that like it comes down to the producer, but like if you have a fire ass beat and you're just putting not trash, but stuff that's not as well thought out, if you're just saying Gucci Gang a bunch of times on there, like why is it the fucking like producer or engineer whoever made that beat? I just didn't understand like why that guy would say that, because he got a lot of crazy shit. Like Metro Boomin started saying shit to him, and like he seems more of like a tame dude. Like he seems that he's not like putting himself out there like talking a bunch of trash and shit like that. But you know, for him to respond, that kind of like caught my eye, it got my attention, because like I know that Russ was like getting a lot of hate, and I don't understand why. I mean, like I think it's different. I think my thought process is way different than yours, obviously, because like it's like if you listen to a song, you're going to be able to immediately tell what is not right with that song, what is not wrong, what's wrong with that song. Like me, like I don't have that like that educated outlook to it, so it's just me taking it as a whole. I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like if you're fucking cooking soup, like you could tell the different ingredients in it, and like I just can tell that it's soup.
That shit sucks, honestly, because like I can't listen to stuff the same anymore.
Yeah,
because I'm like, I'll be like listening to this snare, like I'll be like, damn, what they put on the snare, or like how'd they get that bass to sound like that, or what, you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm thinking about more than like the song. Like
rather than like taking it in yourself, you're just like dissecting it immediately almost. Now, I mean, I'm sure that that's definitely good, but it probably sucks as well, right? Yeah,
and like that's what I was saying. Like that's why I listen to like Marvin Gaye when I leave the studio, because it's like if I'm here listening to rap music all day, it's like I'm gonna go listen to some other shit when I leave here. Yeah, like what do you do? What do you do when you're not skating, or where you're not making beats, or fucking whatever you're doing in this room, creating all kinds of shit? Like, do you have anything else that you do to get away besides for chilling with your dog with a gold chain? Go out to eat with my girl. Yeah? Yeah. Are you a food guy? Yeah, definitely. What are some of your places around the city that you fuck with? Umami for sure. Do you fuck with Streets on Carson? Yeah, I haven't been there in a couple years, but I definitely liked it.
Yeah, you need to get back on that. I just have a running bit because like I fuck with them dudes heavy. So every fucking podcast, I'm gonna just put their name
Plug
out there
'em.
because they're just great people.
We should go.
Let's all go down there. I mean,
down.
that place is. Now, are you a picky eater?
Not at all. That's the thing. Like,
You're not.
nah.
You'll fuck with like bone marrow and shit.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. Now, you being like, you kind of breaking into this world that's like, I don't know, whatever the fuck you want to call it, famous, like whatever world, you're dealing with these people that are like, I mean, you're going to be around different instances. Like, is there some cool shit that has happened to you because of the opportunities you had? Like, you know, whether it be like fucking like I feel like you and Wiz, like obviously you guys are working close together and shit like that, but you guys I feel kind of grew at the same time. Is that safe to say? Now, is there people that you like were fucking with back in the day that like, you know, you working with Wiz like brought you an opportunity to like meet some people that you were like,
Yeah, like Juicy J for sure.
yeah,
That was like,
because like 3-6 and shit was that like
Yeah.
big back in the day?
Yeah,
I'm sure that would be wild.
yeah, that was. And then even like, it's corny, but like they had that show, like 3-6 Mafia had that show on MTV.
Oh,
Like even like that kind of shit, or
Yeah.
like they won an Oscar before I like met Juicy J. You know what I mean? Like just kind of like that type of shit where it's like I never thought at that time that I would meet this dude or like make beats for him or record him or whatever.
yeah, I mean, I'm sure you didn't. I mean, no one would, right?
And I met Diddy with Wiz before. Like
Yeah, that's probably
that was like early on too. Like early on for like that was like right around like Black and Yellow, like 2010. So it was like that year of Kush and Orange Juice. It was just like we went on tour and in LA, like Diddy like came on the bus. You know what I mean? It was just like it's just like weird to see people
yeah,
like
it's
that.
fucking weird because like, you know, years before he's just like in a car with Biggie.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's pretty wild because like I said, I'm not like crazy into it all. Like I listen to it, I appreciate all the music, and like, you know, I'm into I've always like listened to it, but I don't get like super deep into it all. Like for instance, this is gonna be terrible, but like that Push album, like I listened to that all the way through. Like it's just not my favorite. You know what I mean? Like, do you fuck with people like Drake and shit like that? Like, can you find like some people will be like, nah, that's all fucking, that's dumb. That's like a sellout type shit. Like, do you see yourself being a fan of like all different kinds of shit like that?
Yeah. I like ignorant shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just depends. But I try to see both sides of everything. You know what I mean? Like, for better or worse. But I try to see like why somebody would like this particular thing. Like, Drake's not my favorite. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
But I like the way he goes about things. It's like he's just smart. Like,
I think it's crazy. I mean, he definitely is not your favorite, but I'm sure that like I think it's crazy when people be like Drake is the worst.
yeah, it's like
how are you going to say that? Like the dude has some crazy heat.
yeah.
What do you think about the whole like ghostwriting? I think it's weird because like you have all these people that are making like hundreds and hundreds of tracks over a time. Like, I mean, do you think it's a big deal that people have ghostwriters?
I mean, any other kind of music, people don't. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just weird. Like, you know, like I said, I kind of came up on a certain kind of hip hop where it was
Yeah.
like people would never do that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother me now because it's like, I mean, even Drake, like, I don't mean this in any kind of like disrespectful way, but he's like a pop artist and like,
Yeah.
there's no like no pop artists write their own shit basically. Like Beyonce doesn't write her own shit.
Exactly.
Rihanna doesn't write her own shit.
Yeah,
like
Taylor Swift, all these fucking
like
people.
all that stuff. So it's like, to me, it doesn't really bother me.
Now, when people say like, when people have like credits on a song, like I know like I can't remember, the one Beyonce song had like 30 different writers on it or whatever. Now, how deep into that is that? Like, as far as like if there's like, let's say fucking Wiz is in here recording a song and like he has like a bar that he's doing and he has a word and someone's just like, oh, this will fit a little bit better. Like, is that as loose as it could be as far as like having a credit?
It just depends on how generous that particular artist is.
Yeah.
If they want to like credit every single person.
What do you think about as far as like an online presence? Like, if people don't have social media, do you think it's possible for anyone to grow nowadays?
Not really.
Not at all, right?
Yeah, not really. Like, I mean, that's literally the only reason I have Twitter and Instagram. You know, like,
It's just for that.
yep.
Because you're not I mean, we talked about it, but you're not real big into it. Now,
But I do like getting drunk and like being like just saying stupid shit.
Will you like get into any sort of like debates at all online? Are you someone that like will like chime in on things, or are you just like, nah, fuck that?
I think in the past I did, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like everybody's tough on the internet, so it's like if you have like a different opinion, like people are just like they'll gang up on you. You know what I mean? It's like it's just not even worth it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like everyone has an opinion about every single thing you say nowadays.
But then there's certain things that like you can't even like your opinion can't differ. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things that it's like people all like think the same thing, or you'll like get attacked or whatever. Like if you, like even like if you say anything bad about Beyonce on the internet, it's a wrap for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And not
that I have anything bad to say about Beyonce. That's just like an example. Like,
that is an example. That's a perfect example. That if you say something bad about someone, like they have like for instance, if you say something bad about fucking like like Ariana Grande or something, you're gonna get fucking eaten alive by a bunch of followers.
People can hide behind their computer. Like they'll just say they'll say shit they would never say in real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, never whatsoever. All right. Now, outside all this music and shit like that, just my personal curiosity, like what kind of shit do you watch? Like what's some of the, like, you said you were into movies. Like what's some of the good movies and shit that you've watched recently?
Damn. What have I watched lately?
Have you seen Baby Driver?
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was a dope movie.
Yeah.
Are you heavy into like Game of Thrones and shit?
Yeah, actually, I didn't care about it until like this past like winter, basically.
Yeah.
And then me and my girl watched like all 77 episodes or whatever it is.
You watched all of it?
Yeah.
No.
Like probably like last fall.
See, I haven't watched any of it yet, and everyone's telling me I should.
It actually is good. Like I kind of hated on it for a long time.
I waste time on terrible shows. Like, what are some of your fucking like? Is there shows that you watch? Like, are you an Office fan?
No,
you're not an Office fan.
I hate The Office.
Now that you say this, I forgot. He did tell me that. I want to know why.
It's just not funny. Like it's not like
I'm sitting here all day with you and talk about what's funny and what's not funny.
It's not unfunny, but it's just like I'm not like I don't laugh out loud when I watch that show. Like it doesn't do it for me. I don't know. I'm like.
Now, what do you think is funny? What's some of the funniest shit you've ever seen? Like, don't tell me the Chappelle Show, because it's just like a given answer. I want to know some other shit.
Damn.
Are you like a are you
Commando?
Like no? Come on now. Are you like a Parks and Rec fan? Are you like a Friends, Seinfeld?
I like Seinfeld, like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay. Well, I can understand how people like dislike The Office whenever they were like Curb Your Enthusiasm and Seinfeld and shit, because like I'm not a big Seinfeld guy whatsoever.
It's that's one of those things, like a lot of people really like it, but then a lot of people
it's either love or hate.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone
I feel like The
that's
Office
just like
is the same though too.
Yeah, I agree, because like I'm a diehard Office guy. I know that it's hard for me to understand that you don't like it. Like
Family Guy is funny to me. My girl watches Family Guy like when she, like, I don't know, all the time for no reason.
Family Guy. Yeah. Are you a Simpsons fan?
I can't remember the last time I watched The Simpsons, but I liked it when I was young.
I just don't get how it's even on TV anymore.
Yeah, I haven't seen it for 10 years probably.
While you're watching these things, do you know, like, do you take in consideration like scores and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, do you listen to all that shit? Like, so Baby Driver has an incredible soundtrack. Like, is there any other things that you think of offhand that like kind of like was a big deal for you?
Of that movie?
No. I'm talking about like movies in general.
Yeah, definitely like like I just made my girl watch Taxi Driver with me the other day. Like, man. Yeah, like that soundtrack or the score, I guess.
Yeah, the score of it.
But yeah, I always like the score. That used to be my favorite movie.
No one knows that movie is from, or no one knows that that's where Are You Talking to Me came from.
Yeah.
And it's weird to me. What do you think about, now, I don't really ever ask this, but I'm curious, like, what do you think about the whole, that with you being in like the hip hop culture and shit like that, and you hearing what people are rapping about, and you hear what people are like fucking like, you know, like really passionate about, like what do you think about all that? Like, what do you think about, like, you know, obviously Jimmy Walpo just got killed. which is terrible. And obviously that like there's Antoine Rose and like all these other people that are just like getting killed and everything like that. But that's such a big part of like the hip hop culture. Like, do you think that there's any way to have that not be as common as it is?
No, I mean, I don't like the like glorifying, you know, obviously I got shot, like, you know what I mean? Like, I never liked guns. Like, I never wanted a gun. Like, you know, I don't like being around shit. Like, it's just like too much power to me for one person to have.
Yeah.
It's like, just get in a fist fight if you got a problem with somebody, you know, like that's more my perspective. But I don't know. It's tough because there's just like a cycle where it's like maybe somebody's cousin gets killed and then like they want to like retaliate.
Yeah.
And then that shit'll just go on forever if it's like that.
But it's like you see all that like firsthand, right? Because like you're just hearing what people are rapping about, and it's pretty common in everything, right?
Yeah.
Like you always hear about violence. Is there any like hip hop and shit that you record personally that like doesn't have violence and shit in it?
Yeah, I mean I record like this guy Khalifa.
Oh yeah.
He was like a drug addict, and like that's kind of like his whole message is like the recovery kind of part of it.
Yeah.
So like more like his story, but it's not like there's no like violence in it, you know?
Yeah. Now you were talking about drugs and stuff, which is like that's another big part of like the whole music thing. Like what I don't understand of it all is like how people are like recording songs and shit like that, like eating Xanny bars and everything. Like, do you see a lot of people like fucked up? All these kids are like eating Xanax and shit like that. Like, how do you think people do shows with all this stuff?
I don't really. And some of it, like, I feel like some of those dudes don't even do it. They just like want to be cool or whatever. Like they think it's cool to talk about.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I might be wrong. I'm just saying, like, I don't know how people function.
Yeah, with all that stuff.
I've never tried shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
All I've like smoked weed. That's all I've ever done. I've never done anything else. And like drink, obviously, but like.
Yeah, I mean, I try to think of shit that like, you know, would be situational in this time. Like that's why the whole like violence thing was pretty like interesting to me as far as like, I don't know, like everyone's trying to, you know, move their focus into like protecting people and like trying to make things a little bit more safe. And like you see people like WAPA and shit get killed, and like it's so terrible that all these kids are like dying and shit like that. Like, do you think that's ever going to slow down as far as like?
I think the gun shit is just like America is like built on that shit. Like,
yeah.
You know, like I don't see that shit ever going away. There's so many guns floating around, like
yeah.
And now, like, did you see that shit? You can like the
3D printing gun,
yeah, like that kind of shit. It's just like
that's terrifying to think about,
exactly.
Dude. People
like,
can just go buy a fucking 3D printer. So like this dude came up with the schematic where you could get this plan for a 3D printed gun and just print it out yourself at your fucking house. It really is wild. Do you think that services like Spotify and like Apple Music and shit, do you think that they do a service to the industry by making it like a little bit more? Do you think it's more beneficial to have services like that rather than just like what it used to be? Or if it's just like the only reason I ask this,
you're saying like with physical copies?
Yeah, physical copies. Like people don't have like tapes and shit to be able to sell anymore. And I hear that like I know we're jumping all over this fucking place, but shit's just pouring in my head. I read an article that said like streaming, like the money you get for streams ain't shit really. Mm-hmm. So like, what do you think about them streaming services? Like, is it?
I mean, there's no like ever since like Napster, basically, it's been fucked since then, basically. And I'm not like I was using Napster when I was younger, you know what I mean? Like before I started making music, I was like on Napster and shit. But yeah, like if everybody had to buy a physical copy, there'd be a lot more money floating around for like artists and producers. But
yeah,
it's like ever since that, it's like I think the streaming's probably the best way to do it, because then you can at least like people are kind of paying less money and like you get paid per play or whatever.
Yeah.
Even though it's like a very low amount per play, it's like they're keeping track of what's happening.
Do you think it makes it harder for anyone new to like come up?
No.
No?
It's so much easier now. There's a site called DistroKid. Like I can make a song right now and get it on Spotify and like Apple Music. Like it might not be like pushed to the top like what a label would do, but like and like SoundCloud and stuff, it's like, you know, like 20 years ago or whatever, like before the internet and stuff, it's like you had to get kind of like discovered somehow to even get in a recording studio.
Yeah.
To even put a record out. You know what I mean? And now it's like you can buy a laptop and a mic, make a song, and put it on the internet like that, like 10 minutes later.
That's a good point.
It's like I don't think anybody's really like held back at this point. There might be a little less money floating around, but
yeah, that makes sense. You have tracks on a bunch of different artists and shit like that. Now, your process now is, I mean, are you still pretty much like the same of what you were back then? Is anything changed for you? Like how you make things, how you do things? Are you progressing with the music scene? Like, or are you someone who's like kind of stubborn yourself and that like wants to do what they want to do?
It just depends on the day. Like I might be like influenced by something that particular day.
Yeah.
But like I mean, I'll make like trap beats, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for fun, and I'll make like hip like boom bap beats for fun, you know what I mean? It's just like just kind of depends on the day. And then I work with other people too, like J Card and Shad and like Eden and Sayez. Like there's a few people that I work with, so it's just kind of like sometimes they might just have an idea and send it to me.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's not even necessarily like I had like the inspiration for something. It was like they sent me some idea. And then,
now, is the majority of the music that you fucking record and stuff like that, it's hip hop, rap?
Yeah.
Do you don't record anything else really?
I would. We're just kind of like we're known for this basically. Yeah. Like that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And then we're not even like I'm not equipped to like record a band here. You know what I mean? Like
that's a good point.
I don't have space. I don't have enough preamps. Like I don't have, you know.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Rap is just like it's like I need one mic, one input, you know. It's like
that's true.
But I'm down to do other stuff. It's just like
now, are you do you frequent shows yourself? Like, do you go to different shit around here?
Yeah, I mean, I try to.
What's some of the recent shit you've been to?
Sierra did that show at Full Pint.
Yeah,
I went to that one, and like Bill Waves, like he was there. Yeah. I should have gone to this shit on what was that, last Saturday?
What was it?
They just had like every Pittsburgh artist at Spirit.
Oh yeah, I did see that. I heard that Tory Lanez was here last night.
Oh really?
And Mr. Smalls.
Damn.
And it's like that's weird. I feel that's a weird venue for him. I feel because like you could have sold out he definitely could have sold out Stage AE. I would think so. And then Chris Brown's here tonight.
Oh shit!
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I mean shows are. That's another thing where it's like it's just kind of like too many people.
Yeah, like I don't go unless it's like the last one I went to that Greta Van Fleet show. You know who they are?
Nope.
They're a newer band. Kids are from Detroit, like 21, 22, and they sound just like Led Zeppelin.
Oh shit!
They have a song called Safari Song that's like their big radio hit, but like
my mom probably likes them.
Dude, it's like, I mean, like I grew up on like, you know, like Led Zeppelin, The Doors, all that shit just because of my dad. But
kind of the same with my mom. Like
I don't go to a lot of shows, but like the ones I do go to, you know, it got to be something good. I figured they would be a good one. All right. Well, I do a segment at the end. It's the most entertaining part of it all. I'm sure you don't know what it is. You definitely don't know why it's called Desert Island Question. But that's something from The Office. Desert Island Questions, though, is I give you 3 categories, and you get 3 choices for each category to take with you on a desert island to use over and over and over again until you die.
I get 3 choices?
3 choices of each category. So the first category is going to be movies. It could be trilogies, it could be, you know, collections of movies, TV shows, whatever. All
right, well, I'll say Indiana Jones, the first 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I used to
what's up.
want to be Indiana Jones when I was a little kid.
Who doesn't want to be
Yeah.
Harrison Ford?
Exactly. Godfather 1 and 2.
You like The Godfather that much?
Yeah.
I think it's
I
overrated.
like the second one.
I think it's. What about Scarface?
Scarface, like, I do like Scarface, but those, like, Godfather and Scarface are kind of, like, overly long to me sometimes.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
Scarface definitely isn't as good as, like, Godfather to me personally, but
Yeah.
I like it, you know?
Yeah. Now I ask almost everyone this though, but like, are you a Goodfellas or Casino?
Goodfellas.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I like they're
both incredible, but
they're pretty equal. I'd like, you know what I mean?
What do you like about Goodfellas that's more that brings it more?
Well, part of it is that Casino is just like the Vegas version of the, you know what I mean? It was just like the format is like exactly the same.
Yeah. But I mean, hey,
And Sharon Stone is fucking annoying.
she is. That's the original harlot.
Yeah, like
What a psychopath. Okay, so you got. I'm always curious to know what people pick between Goodfellas and Casino, because I'm personally a Casino guy. I think it's because I gamble and like I enjoy that. I enjoy the whole aspect of it all. But Goodfellas is cool though. It gets a little bit manic at the end. Like
Yeah.
whenever he's fucking running around with all the helicopters and shit, it gives me anxiety watching the shit. It really does. But I mean, it's all good. The meanest scene in that movie though is whenever they're cooking in jail.
mm-hmm.
It's like slicing the garlic so it liquefies. Like I fuck with all those types of movies. Like in all the old 80s movies and shit, whenever people were gearing up, like, you know, like fucking, you know, your typical scenes like in Terminator 2 whenever she goes underground and grabs all the guns and shit.
Yeah.
Like that shit makes me nuts.
Yeah, I mean, I love the, like, you know, like the late 80s, like early 90s, like RoboCop 2 is like,
RoboCop.
yeah.
That's a good
like
one.
one of my favorite movies.
I fucked with Judge Dredd heavy. RoboCop, I think I was a little bit too old. I think I was too young to appreciate that when it came out.
I was too, like, I wasn't even allowed to watch it. Like,
Was your mom strict?
not like super strict, but I was like young enough when that came out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That it was like too violent. You know what I mean? To
Yeah,
her.
for sure.
And that movie is kind of like overly violent for real.
Super violent for back then.
But, yeah.
I just watched a part of it because it was on like AMC and shit, and it's like I haven't watched it in probably over 10 years. I was like, geez, this is fucking wild.
Yeah.
You had Godfather 1 and 2. You had Indiana Jones. And what's the third choice? Mind you, you're going to be stuck on a desert island, so like you got a good adventure movie. You got a fucked up, boring, long mafia movie.
It'd take up a lot of time.
Take up a lot of fucking time. You think you would get bored of that, or you could watch that over and over and over again?
I
feel
could
like-
watch Indiana Jones over and over.
Indiana Jones, 100%. I'm talking about The Godfather.
But yeah, I don't know.
Because that, I feel like I would just
It's
fucking...
like a workout.
I would
watching
hang
that shit.
myself like Tom
But
Hanks.
Yeah. But I can, like, I think I could appreciate it. And I like
Yeah.
the music. Like, I like the score.
Yeah, they do have a wild-ass score in that for
Yeah.
sure. All right, third one.
Damn. I feel like it should be something kind of stupid, right?
Could be whatever you want.
Like, Billy Madison, maybe.
That's a good one. That's a good answer. No one has picked... I don't know if anyone has really picked any Adam Sandler movies. You a big Adam Sandler guy?
No, it's like the first couple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
After Mr. Deeds?
yeah.
After
Like, now
Mr.
he's just like, he's like unbearable at this point.
I know, dude. All these new movies. He's supposed to be coming out with a serious movie that's supposed to be good, but it's probably going to be trash. Just
I'm
like
nobody wants to see him be serious. Like,
You ever see Rain Over Me?
no.
Man, or Rain on Me? It's about his wife and kids got killed in like the Twin Towers or some shit,
Oh shit.
and it was him and Don Cheadle. Don't sleep on it. It's so good. Very, very, very emotional movie, but
Yeah, I just, like, definitely have gotten to the point where like anything with him, I just like,
I'm done
I don't
with
even
it.
want to see that shit.
yeah, write it off.
Yeah.
I did watch the last newer movie that he came out with that I thought was somewhat decent was like Grown Ups. Like I thought that was kind of funny, but like, you know, they're all fucking old. It all gets old. He's just collecting checks.
And like the premise of like all his movies is like the same
Yeah.
every time, like just in a different like location. Like it's
Yeah, dude. Like I can't watch like the Zohan or
Yeah.
fucking Jack and Jill or whatever them fuck them movies are.
Yeah.
All right, so second one, I asked you before, do you read?
Yeah.
Now, you read a lot? You have 3 books that you would take with you? Because I do have a consolation question. I have video games as well.
I mean, I could do both, but like
Go ahead.
For me, books are like the books I read are more like informative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you're not like a pleasure, like a, not reading like a mystery or some shit.
nah, I have to be like learning.
Were you, now, whenever you were in school and shit, did you get good grades?
Yeah, I didn't even try hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Like, I did my homework and like studied for tests and shit, but like that was about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I wasn't.
That makes sense.
But I just wanted to skate.
Yeah, and
in high
just be
school.
out of,
like that was it.
be gone.
But that was the thing. That was why I did all my homework, so nobody could say shit to me. Like,
That's a good, I mean, that,
yeah, like I did well enough so nobody could say shit.
that's a smart way to do it. Well, I mean, you could pick books or movies, whichever. I mean, books or video games, whichever.
I'll just do video games.
All right.
Shit, probably NBA Jam
All right.
for Super Nintendo. Tony Hawk 1 just because that game's horrible now when you play it, but
N64?
yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
it looks so shitty, but
It
back
is.
then that shit was incredible.
It was incredible. Who'd you play as?
Andrew Reynolds usually.
I was always a Rodney Mullen. That was my dude.
I think most people it was like Rodney Mullen or Tony Hawk.
It's because Rodney Mullen was just like, I always fucked with the flat ground shit, Casper, dark slides and shit, like all that always fascinated me, and I just thought that dude was a freak. Like I was always like, Dennis Rodman over Michael Jordan, and that's why I always fucked. That's honestly why I fucked with Demolition Man, because Wesley Snipes reminded me of Dennis Rodman, and whenever he's gearing up in the museum and shit, that's all so much. Like they don't make movies like that anymore.
I might go watch that shit tonight. I haven't seen it in so long.
Demolition Man?
Yeah.
It's all day. That's a good one. When we went to Exchange the other day, I picked out 4 movies. I had Tombstone.
I actually have that on Blu-ray at the crib.
You already know.
I think I stole that from Mac actually.
Grip that. That's such a good movie.
Because he probably didn't even open it. Like it was probably just sitting there in plastic for years. And
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm taking this shit.
Tombstone, Remember the Titans. I made my girl watch that for the first time last night. She never seen it. She was like, I don't give a fuck about football. And, it's just like, I'm about ready to run through a wall whenever I'm watching it, just because I played football my entire life. That movie is just like, it's fucking crazy to me. It gives me chills. But, yeah, whatever. Okay. You picked 3 video games?
What was that? I picked 2.
NBA Jam, Tony Hawk 1.
And then Skate 2.
Skate 2? You're a big skate guy, I would bet.
Yeah.
You think they'll make another one?
Nope.
You don't think so?
I was hopeful.
They're supposed to make another one, but I mean they've been saying it for years.
I want them to at least make those available. Like I can just get them on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah,
Like,
so
I
you
can
don't
at
have
least-
to have the game or whatever.
I just gave Boyd my PS3 and Skate 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I mean those games are fucking insane. You know who Maddie had the meanest edit I've ever seen. There was a whole summer where we just played. Yeah, I didn't even play. He just played, and I would just sit there and watch. And he made this fucking edit to go into California because it was right before he moved to Cali. And he made this fucking edit, and it was so sick. But then he ended up losing it, like his computer crashed or some shit.
Damn.
But that game was wild. I'd be curious to know if they make another one. They'd be making crazy money. Why do you think they haven't yet?
Well, that's the thing. They make money, but it wouldn't be like Madden or FIFA money.
Why do you think that?
I don't
You
know.
don't think a lot of? I mean, that's true though. Everyone.
I just
plays.
don't think the average a regular ass the average person probably won't buy a skate game, but everybody's gonna buy Madden even though it's the same game as last year.
That's a good point.
Or
NHL
FIFA,
and all them.
Yeah, FIFA
They changed
soccer is
one
the
little
most popular
thing.
sport in the world, so they're gonna sell a lot of those.
You fuck with soccer?
I mean, it's I just don't know. I didn't grow up playing soccer.
Yeah.
So I don't really know shit about it.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It doesn't bother me.
I have I have a lot of friends who like it a lot. You know what I mean? And I like the game. I like the jerseys and shit.
I like the jerseys of it. We just got jerseys and threads on Carson. Come on down and check us out.
Yeah.
What's up?
All right. Another plug.
Another quick plug. All right, the third one is I'm curious to see what you say about this since you're a fucking music person. 3 albums to take with you.
Oh shit. Love Supreme, John
Okay.
Coltrane.
Okay.
What's Going On by Marvin Gaye,
Okay.
and then Diplomatic Immunity.
Those are all good picks.
Yeah. I probably have listened to those more than anything else. So
Anything else? That's pretty. That makes sense. I would have never guessed you to be, I would have never guessed to be like a Coltrane or, Marvin Gaye. I had no idea that you were real into like the whole, soul and everything like that.
yeah, definitely. That's what all these records are.
Yeah. Whenever I saw that post that said like I'm selling my record collection, mostly soul and fucking jazz, I was like, huh, that's interesting. Do you find that like a lot of the music, since you have all this shit now, a lot of the stuff that you listen to, can you tell like where some of these samples and everything are coming from?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes like a lot of shit is still like rare enough that like I haven't heard it, obviously, but
Yeah.
like a good amount of shit, like I
That would
know
be-
it immediately.
That would be wild to, like how we were talking about like how you dissect some things. Like it would be cool to hear that. Like whenever I listen to podcasts, I fucking like I do the same type of thing just because it's just like your fucking wheelhouse.
It's like second nature at a certain point.
Yeah,
It's just like you don't even think about it.
yeah, and it's just like you're like why did you do this and not that, which makes sense. Okay, Death Row Meal.
Just one.
No, you could pick whatever,
Like how many things?
like whatever you want.
Damn, maybe like a Fiore's pizza.
Fiore's, your Fiore's.
Yeah,
Okay,
like a meatball, a meatball Fiore's pizza.
I've never had that.
It's a good one.
Meatball Fiore's. All right,
Last time I got meatball, sausage, and pepperoni. That was crazy.
I'd fuck with that.
So that could be like the appetizer, like a small Fiore's.
Okay.
Damn, I'm trying to think. Maybe these beef ribs I used to make.
Maybe these beef ribs are in my freezer right now that I gotta pull out.
Oh damn, like Gus's fried chicken. Maybe
I don't know what that is.
it's just like this like hot fried chicken from it's like Memphis, but
Okay.
they had one in L.A. They have them in Atlanta actually. Like there's one in Atlanta
That's why you're moving down there, huh?
partially. There's a lot of Chick-fil-A's down there too, which is nice.
You fuck with Chick-fil-A?
Yeah,
It's fire.
yeah,
Fire for sure.
definitely.
Okay. Last question. If you could have a conversation with anyone alive or dead, who would it be?
Ken Griffey Jr.
Really? What an answer.
Yeah.
What would you ask him?
I don't even know. I just like that was my idol when I was a kid. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, because I grew up playing baseball and like he was just like,
The big deal.
yeah, he just made it look so good. It was so easy for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes
I
sense.
don't know exactly what I would ask him. That's actually another video game I like is the Super Nintendo Ken Griffey game. I used to love that game.
That's dope. I would take, I just busted out NHL or Blitz.
Oh yeah,
NFL Blitz. I busted that out recently. That's
I
dope.
have it right back there.
Yeah, that's all. That's a hard game. Who do you play as?
We kind of just like switch it up. Really, I'll play as anybody on there. I like to be the Steelers, but they weren't good then, so it's like
You're pretty confident though. You're pretty good at it.
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah, yeah, I'm all right." All right. Well, I appreciate you, dude.
Yeah.
I really do. I know
Thank
that you
you.
have a busy schedule. I'm happy that you.
And I'm hella awkward and don't like to talk, so
That's all right though.
you made it happen.
Yeah, I made it happen. Have you done a podcast with anyone?
No.
No big deal, bro. You're
Appreciate
obviously welcome back here whenever. Plug whatever you want to my couple hundred followers.
Just somebody buy my records.
Yeah, buy your records. I'm gonna even put your fucking email in the
Cool.
description so you could have one person hit you up if you're lucky.
Yeah, because I don't want to move. I don't want to move them to Atlanta. So
I'm gonna take a peek at him after as well.
yeah, I have beats too.
Yeah, he got beats too. Come correct. All right, everyone is listening. I appreciate it very much. Follow me on social media at I'll Call You Right Back on Instagram, at ICYRB Podcast on Twitter, at I'll Call You Right Back on fucking Facebook, YouTube, wherever. You can email me. I'll call you right back at Gmail. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you dislike. Tell me about people you want to hear on here. Call me a piece of shit. Whatever you want. I appreciate it. All right, I'll call you right back. Peace.